Hello everyone, welcome. We're gonna be playing ad nauseam just because I really want to, and I want to just talk about anything. I'm gonna play through the game from the start until I stop, but and we'll pick it up at another day. But yeah, gonna be very in depth, and I'll cut in whenever I have anything interesting to say. Starting now. Look at this. When we choose a difficult, oh my god. When you look at this and we choose a difficulty, ultraviolet ultraviolet, I mean, over here is it's red folly or folly red, which is a very important color. Why is it important? We don't really know yet, but everyone has their little ideas, including me. But it's here, it might just be an aesthetic choice. It seems like that because we're going from pink to in between to just full folly. But hey, it seems like fall or red and folly, which is close to red, is paired with violence a lot. So maybe it is just an aesthetic and a, you know, fitting choice. Gimme lore, please. Alrighty. And life said to her. So it seems like in this opening passage, what is this opening passage? I'm not sure. Do we have any clues? I mean, no, it's a black screen. We have big pink text, which this kind of big pink text does show up in other areas of the game, specifically during the D0 dream. And I think that's it, and just the intro. But, yeah, also we have the song, the music, the audio, right? I'm the audio girl. This song is called God's Garden, which makes you think we have some God, God's garden, like that's very interesting. I know there's a theory that Sid has with people being born of flowers. Gardens make you think of flowers, right? And what does God do? God creates people, right? In most, like, fiction and religion. And so what does God do? God creates people and makes everything, right? So this seems to be some kind of grander than life thing going on here. This doesn't seem to be something that's even regarding Serene. This is almost like it's this first part of the entire game. It's almost like we get a little passage, line, or interaction from Mary, from God, Providence, maybe one of these massive figures in the story. People we probably don't even know about. So it says, and Life said to her, so we have a character named Life, which is very, evocative and interesting that it's just, this character is just called Life, right? Or maybe it's not Life a character, maybe it is the personification of life itself, right? Maybe this is like the beginning of the universe, right? That's usually when, some books and stories and stuff start with the beginning of everything. That makes sense. It's the beginning, right? So maybe this is kind of explaining that suddenly, life spoke to her, like life started, right? So, or this is an actual character, which seems, legit. So, and life said to her, who's her? Also, I should say, um, uh, I should say that this song is like, I think straight up just the song that plays in Udinil in Sturley Tower. It is the Sturley Tower song, I believe. I could be wrong, which is funny that I don't even know, like, my own song. But it's either that or it's Grand Atrium, but I'm pretty sure it's Sturley Tower. Which is interesting. That place is holy ground, right? So it seems like we have a lot of stuff lining up here. So Life spoke to her and asked, "Are you scared of death?" So we have Life and we have Death asking if someone is afraid of death, which could be the personification of death, a character named Death, but seems like whatever death is, it's, symbolizes death or the end, right? So are you scared of death? Then take my hand. So it seems like the character, yes, is afraid of death. So Life is now taking her hand, and it turns folly. I'll never let go. So, when you see obviously this isn't red, but in other games, if it was like this color, you would assume this is intimidating or scary or a little perverted, not in like a sexual way, but like it's, oh, I'll never let go, meaning it was innocent, but you know maybe at some point you should have let go, right? It's like, oh, I'll never let go ever, and it looks at the camera all evil and scary. But yeah, I'll never let go. So, you know what? Actually, if we are thinking that this is like very large scale, this might legitimately be maybe the start of the universe or something. This character Life is talking to her, which is like either humanity or just a human, saying, if you're afraid of death, I, Life, will never let go of you. And that is why the humans of Sanatoria are immortal, because Life hasn't let go. And that's why the text turns this more intimidating color, is because, yes, we're saved from death, but now we have to deal with being scotched. The entire society and world of ad nauseam is like shifted and revolved around, they live forever, which is good, but there's also a redness to it, a red pinkness to it. There's good and bad. It's now you will never have to fear death because Life will never let go of you. You're stuck in the claws of Life, not the claws of death, which is usually what happens in stories. But no, now it's the claws of Life have grabbed you and you are stuck, alive and living, even if you're going through pain. Just because this girl was afraid of death, basically. Not, maybe she wasn't, maybe the world just started and it was like, are you afraid of death? Take my hand, I'll never let go of you. And that's all that needs to be said, and that seems like a pretty meaning, like that seems pretty, that lines up for me. That's why it's called God's Garden. It might have been like, yeah, that's interesting. So, now back to the game, and we're still not even into reality. We have what looks to be Serene, or a girl with medium-length hair, falling. I only assume it's Serene because we play as Serene, right? She's our protagonist, but the outfit looks a little different. The hair, I think, could be Serene. We don't necessarily see the side ponytail, but it could be out, it could be flying all over the place. But yeah. And behind us we have the red, folly, pinkish eyes. Very interesting. It's obviously abstract, unless it's actually real and we're falling in a pit of eyes or some shit. But, yeah. Interesting. It's like we're being observed by this red folly stuff. And it seems like we're in some kind of mental, like, in our head or something. There was a flash of some kind. So here we go. Time would reveal that cold feeling was instead just numbness. Numbness, static, noise. So that is a phrase that's repeated a lot by Serene. Well, maybe she learned it from this dream, but it is repeated a lot in the game. And this character, I would assume, isn't Serene, because if it was, wouldn't it just say Serene, right? And then there's also what happens in a little bit where it refers to Serene as someone else. So where was I again implies that we've existed before this point, which, is important when this is so abstract. And we have feet, we have hands, and they're stretching far out, as if I'm falling out of my own skin. So it seems like the way I interpret this is kind of like a misalignment of physical body and your consciousness, right? Like, this happens to me. It's kind of like vertigo or being dizzy. Like, when you're laying down, usually happens to me before bed. Like, sometimes you can feel your body or yourself, like your consciousness kind of fall away, I guess, and not feel like you're lined up with physical space, So, and then we have our first instance of censored text. So someone is cutting in to this static, this numbness, and they're speaking. We can't really hear them because we're kind of in this loopy state. So what does this say? I'm not sure. My only guess from after looking at it is maybe it says you can't go, right? Maybe that would be said with an exclamation mark, but that's the only thing I can think of. So this here is pretty sure it believes wake up. Like, holy shit, I can't speak. To me, I feel like this means wake up. It's name, comma, wake up. When you have a word and a comma, it's usually a name, right? So this is a 6-letter name, blank, wake up. So that's interesting. And now there's somebody calling out to us. Who are you? We have a 6-letter name and a shake sound on the screen, and the shake sound audio as well is what I mean. So that means that this feels like in the real world, someone's shaking us to try and get us awake. I felt a tug. Suddenly I was away, drifting somewhere. So yeah, our physicalness is being disrupted. We're being brought back to shore. And now we have that 6-letter name again. They're asking, are you, they're like, oh, girly, right? Is that 6 letters almost? Yeah, that's 6 letters, girly. And it also starts with a G, which might be important later. It's like, girly, are you there? And here we go. Now we're coming back to reality. We're washing up on shore. Can you hear me? Remember what I taught you. Sound body, sound mind, right? So this person taught us sound body, sound mind as a saying to stop whatever's happening, to kind of reel us back in from drifting into the ocean. Now, we'll get into this as we approach the rest of the scene, but I have a feeling that what's going on here is a side effect of an adventure that we're embarking on, a quest. We're going somewhere, and whatever's happening, whatever we're doing is having an effect on our body, right? And our mind. It's fucking with our sensorium, our consciousness. And we need to do these things. We really need to put an effort to keep us here in the real world, not this place, this inner mind scape, wherever this is. Maybe this is the great room. Maybe this is, where the sensorium is stored. Maybe this is within our heads. I don't know where it is, but it seems like one of those, like some kind of mental landscape. But in order for us to stay into the physical world, we need to say and practice basically a meditation thing, like sound body, sound mind, sound body, sound mind, and come back to reality. I instinctively nodded. So now we're kind of connecting. As this goes on, you can see we're getting closer to reality. Can you feel something? Anything? So yeah, this numbness seems to be a bit more real than, it's not like we are maybe having a hard time sensing things. Like maybe we've lost all senses. That's why we're in this weird limbo. Yes, numbness, static, noise. Now, for some reason, now our text, so as we're getting closer, as we're washing up on shore, now we are like fading out. Maybe we're transitioning back to the real reality. It's your body. If you can still feel your body, then no matter how strange things are in your head right now, so yeah, we are in our head, and there is some kind of disconnect here. You know you're still here, grounded in reality. So yeah, no matter how far, this place that we're going to, this adventure, it's like we're walking through water. And if we aren't careful, it will drag us like a riptide into the ocean, and that's where we're going, basically. But if we can feel our body, we can come back. We can get back to reality. Sound body, sound mind. You're still alive. So that's a really interesting thing to say. It's almost like we're drifting. This ocean we're drifting to is death, right? Almost. It's not even like, when we wake up, we're like wounded and stabbed and dying, like we're going to the light. because that's one, that's not happening, and two, there is no light, right? There is no death in ad nauseam. So this seems to be like maybe a different interpretation of scotching, where when you are scotched or something, you can kind of like, is this some kind of ego death? Because we know our character or the characters we see right after this scene are okay. They're not wounded, they're not dying. So saying you're still alive when we're physically okay is strange, right? So maybe under the surface or within our minds only, our character is dying, right? And this is what they're experiencing. They are like experiencing ego death, conscious death. They are drifting into this ocean and losing themselves, feeling no sensory input, unable to control their body, not knowing what's going on, you know? And that's why this started with a flash. It started not at the start. It said, and then there was a flash, and I was, I was drifting away somewhere. I didn't know what was going on, but now we're coming back from this, ego death that we were in or approaching. It's not over yet. You haven't lost. I've got you. For now. But someone else is waiting for you. Go back to her. So whoever this is comforting us and pulling us back to reality. So if we're getting lost in this ocean, they seem to be some kind of guide of the ocean. Or they are maybe we created them in our head to help us, and imagine, it seems like a loved one, someone this character cares a lot about. Their memory of them and their, image of them in their head is being like, hey, remember I taught you, sound body, sound mind, you need to come back to reality for her. Do you still remember my name? So this character that says my name, the guide of the ocean, is 4 letters. That's right. So now this is important. We have a 6-letter character who's getting lost, stranded in the sea. And we have a 4-letter character who's the guide, bringing them back to reality. I'm gonna help you, but you need to listen to me. You have to reach out and reel your body back in. Damn, the ocean analogy was good. I forgot they say reel. Reel it like a fishing line. And to be fair, I said ocean because the game said drifting away. I think it even might have said an ocean or something. But they did say drifting. Regain control. I don't know how, but you've done it many times before. So yeah, it really feels like this character is in somewhere they shouldn't be. The one that's speaking with blue text is like, they live in the ocean, right? And we aren't allowed, we shouldn't be there. And they're like, I don't know how you got here, I don't know what you're doing here, but you left multiple times before. I've taught you sound body, sound mind, you need to go back to her, to where you belong. It's not over yet. We get our hands back. I feel my hands. Again. Now, this might be looking too deep into it, but that's the whole point of this. That is the serene stinger. That is a sound that is connected to serene, So that's interesting. And so when we click ourselves, we see serene. But it says, I see something. Someone. So it's not saying, it's like I feel my hands, I feel my feet, and then it says, I see, not my face, it's I see something. Someone, I see someone, and it's bolded, which feels kind of intimidating, like I see someone. So what does that imply? It seems like we're not serene, but when we look at our face, we see serene. Is this Renaline? The reflection, right? When Serene sees, when we see Renaline, she writes on mirrors and glass, and it's in our bathroom mirror as, a reflection. And her name, Renaline, Serene, is very similar. And we know this character we're playing as has a 4-letter name, which could be Rena, right? Which is also Serene's nickname. Which is another, mirroring reflection. So that is something. And that would make sense that this character lives in a different area, like a different reality, the wrong side or the right side, right? So this is like venturing into the other side, maybe? That's a lot of speculation. But anyway, for some reason our own face makes us think of Serene. And here she is. It's Serene. Go to her. But what about you? So now we're talking about the 6... But actually I should probably cut that part out because I was completely wrong. We're not playing as a 4-letter character. We're playing as the 6-letter character. My bad. This 4-letter character, however, this blue girl, that might be Renaline, maybe, because she's on this other kind of reality boundary or whatever, and she's kind of like a guide, and she says, me, I'll always be watching. Yeah, or I'll always be here watching, which sounds, you know, like Renaline. She seems to be trapped in a mirror world or something, or lives in this mirror world. So Serene says, hey, hey, she shakes us. Gives your cheek a couple light slaps until you come to your senses. Get up. Snap out of it, please. Are you okay? Keep holding on. I know it's hard. I understand, but I'm here. And I'm going to be forever. Got it? So yeah, she is helping us with whatever weird state we fell into. You found yourself within a large elevator. So yeah, we are back to reality. Who we playing as, we're not really sure of. The two of you are alone. In fact, it feels almost as if the two of you are entirely alone, even outside the confines of this elevator. Which again, makes me think of this like reality, not reality thing, where maybe we are somewhere else, or we're so far away from society that we're entirely alone, right? Obviously, I'm using information from later in the game. Like, we hear about the Arms of Providence, right? Jika's like, have you seen the Arms of Providence? That makes me think of this scene where we're in an obviously very green elevator, right? Makes me think of Sturley. And when we hear about Providence, it's like, oh, where's Providence? Probably, like, I would think in Sturley Tower, like at the bottom or at the top, right? So maybe this is going to Providence or something. I'm not sure. Cause, oh yeah, no, that's why I'm thinking that. She said Jika said the top of the tower, there's a cancer of architecture. And she said, have you seen the Arms of Providence? So, yeah, it's like up there's some kind of weird natural cancer of architecture, and Providence, like, could be up there maybe. Like, for some reason she's connecting the top of the tower with Providence. And now we have an elevator that's going somewhere, and to me it looks like it's going up, but I guess it could be going down. But it looks green, and it's going fast, and in D1, when we psycho break, we see this elevator, right? So that is multiple connections with this elevator and Sturley Tower. And whenever there's weirdo shit going on that doesn't make sense, I link it to Providence. That's my flaw, but I don't know. That seems like a lot of connections here. Or no one else exists. That's also another thing. This could be a continuation of the first scene, the very first scene with life and death, you know? Like maybe no one else does exist yet. These are the only two people. But that I'm not too likely. Like, I don't think that's too likely. Are you alright now? You were spiraling for a moment, so yeah, it seems like it was a mental thing that happened. Are your eyes acting up? Mine are too. Now that's a really interesting thing to say, because we know something's up with Serene's eyes. It's her schizitism, and look at what we can see. The world looks pretty fucked up right now. It looks very, you know, schizitism. Now, is that because our character has schizitism? Is it because our character is some kind of mirror of Serene? Is it because the elevator or the spiral or wherever we're going just fucking gives you schizitism, like it's a disease of the area? Are we getting too close to Providence that you know, our eyes can't comprehend what's going on and they're damaged permanently? Or is it because Serene is having this dream in the real world and she has schizitism, so her dreams have schizitism, right? It's a lot of stuff. So here we go. We have the girl whose sprite matches up with the sprite of Serene's sister. So this is gonna be the sister character I'll refer to her as, because it's gotta be, right? Unless it's someone with the same exact haircut, or she has a twin sister, like two sisters, I don't know. But it's the sister, right? So yeah, for some reason, we can't see her, we don't know her name, and we can't hear her. Which, I believe it's probably because this is Serene's dream and it's her amnesia is blocking this out. Which, we have static being used to represent, like, a block in knowledge or memory. Obviously, there's some, narrative reasons too. It's a mystery, right? That probably will get paid off later, but I also think it's intentional. It's Serene's memory, it's her amnesia while she's in this nightmare, in this dream. So she's saying something. 6-letter word, 4-letter word. I'm not sure what this is. And remember, if anyone gets too close to you, I'll kill them. So other people do exist, right? So why is it that we feel alone and entirely alone? So I just had a fucking creepypasta moment. I hope the recording still works. My computer like kind of locked up randomly and everything stopped responding. And I thought it was gonna crash because my computer's been kind of weird lately. But everything came back and then like Adna just closed. So that was definitely a problem with my computer. Oh, actually, this is great. We got a second intro, or a different intro. She was terrified. So maybe this is a continuation of the other one, right? Because we have a girl who's afraid of death, right? We have like the three characters. We have life, death, and her, right? And now this is she, so it might be that same girl. She was terrified. After all, the world was full of horrors, right? But a sanctuary lied deep within. Okay, so the world of horrors and stuff makes me think of that thing in the religion. We'll get there eventually in like 50 episodes with Juno and the primals and Mary or whatever. I'm not caught up on it, but it's something about, it seems like there were these primals and I don't know what they are, but you hear the word primal and we know Juno is bad. Juno it was like Juno brought in the primals or something. Someone can correct me. But that's what it makes me think of. This is a world. This seems to be a bit more advanced since the other intro, where the other intro seems to be at the beginning of the world. This seems like some shit has been going down. The world is now full of horrors. But a sanctuary lied deep within. So you feel like in the body. Or perhaps deep within the world, beneath the clinic or at the bottom or something. A beautiful field where no sun shined nor ever existed. Now, that is like, the word sun even being in here is ridiculous. Like, what does that mean? Like, does that mean the sun did exist? Or like the concept of the sun is existing within this this piece of the narrative that we are reading, Is it, sorry, I brushed my mic, I'm too excited. Is it because this is, kind of meta? This is more directed at the player, right? Or is it a little in between where this dialogue, right? It's like, doesn't seem to be taking place in the actual world. This is not really, whatever. But is this something between like higher beings, like gods, like Mary, people who know about some concepts that don't exist in Sanatoria, like sun and stuff, Or what is more likely, maybe, is a sun is a concept that is a little different in ad nauseam. And that sounds more likely. Now, what does it mean? I have no idea. But that is super interesting, and this is obviously supposed to get us really intrigued, and it's working. So within the world, there's a sanctuary deep within, where a beautiful field, where no sun shined, nor ever existed. And that's interesting that it points out the sun. We're talking about horrors, right? We're talking about a sanctuary, right? We're listing traits of this sanctuary that's better than the world of horrors. So what do we list? The fact that there is no sun, right? That makes it seem like either it's noteworthy because there's no sun, meaning the outside world has a sun, or that the sun is a big issue, like it is a horror or something. I'm not sure. A field of flowers growing within the glow of God's hope. So it seems like maybe God, this capital G God, which we've never seen a reference like this before, or like a name like this, is perhaps down there in the sanctuary, or it has been affected by God's glow. And it is a field of flowers. It seems like the entire sanctuary is a field, so maybe it isn't the clinic. But yeah, growing within the glow of God's hope. So these flowers, I'm only thinking about the sun because it was brought up, but they are glowing not off of, or they're growing not because of sunlight, but because of God's hope. And blooming healthily from a river of her tears. So yeah, the sun that they need is from the hope, and the water that they need is from her tears, her sadness. And this is from God, which is a her. You stand strong in the face of doom. Now I believe the sheet at the start it said she was terrified. That seems to be a different character who is now being spoken to by God. And God says, you stand strong in the face of doom. Tell me, what is your secret? So the secret seems to be how are you living in this world of horror? How are you standing strong in the face of doom? And now the person is saying, I want to be as brave as you, God. And God spoke. Or maybe this is saying God spoke and said, hold on. God spoke. Okay. This could be that I'd have to look at the recording. My memory's kind of fried. But maybe it was the girl speaking all of that to God, saying, God, stand strong. And now God is responding, bear a flower, and I will show you, in Red Folly, my deepest secret. So if you bring a flower, which when we think of flower, we think of, the menorah, that is some kind of tool, or that is a part of the secret that allows people, God or this one girl, to avoid a world of horror, to survive and cope. Awesome. Yeah, so if anyone gets close, I'll kill them. Which, like I was saying, implies that there's people, which is weird, but makes sense to me. Also, if anything goes wrong, we run. So it seems like there's going to be danger, and the danger is going to be people. So are we in an area we're not supposed to be? And we're gonna fight us? That's very interesting. And yeah, you can kill. She said the word kill, which is just interesting. Does she have a way of killing? Or does she have, or does killing exist? Like death exists? Not sure. I love you. Okay, so yeah, the I love you, that makes sense. When this is all over, think really hard about what you want. So there's some kind of decision that needs to be made from this. Implies that they're doing something like special, impactful. They're getting some kind of thing after this. I'll reiterate as we continue. Think really hard about what you want. Got it? 5-letter word, 5-letter word, 5-letter word. I have no idea what she could be saying. That is 3 5-letter words in a row. Maybe it's the same word a couple times. I don't know. And then it is a 7-letter word, a 3-letter word, and a 4-letter word. That's right. Have you decided yet, by the way? 5-letter word, 5-letter word. A lot of 5-letter words. That's okay. Go at whatever pace you want. I'll keep using nothing until you're ready. Now, I'm not really sure what this is referring to. I always thought it was referring to a name. But it might be referring to that, have you decided what you want when we get out of here? I'm not sure. Even if you can't speak to me after this, implying that one of them they're gonna be missing or something weird's gonna happen, I'll be watching. Which does mirror the blue character that was talking at the start, who said, you know, I'll be here watching. She strokes her face with her thumb while her palm lies flush against the side of your cheek. She releases her hand, wiping away a tear as it leaves. Reaching into her pocket, she pulls out a key before facing the elevator control panel. Here's a key. And when you hear about a key in Adna, there's only one key you think about, the under key. Puts the key in and turn, but your face falls down into your hand. So it seems like her putting in the key is making us distraught. So since we know we're distraught, this makes me think the first word is I'm. Maybe I'm gonna something something. And then it's sound body. Yeah, I'm not sure. I know you could, but I can't let you. I'm doing this for you. Please? Your dream? It's beautiful. Let me realize it for you. So, I believe that was Red Folly. It was, your fight has just begun. A sudden little corruption of the dream. Let me realize it for you. Your fight is finally over, but the fight is actually just beginning. Feel your hands pry softly from your face, revealing Serene's close face and smile. She sits against the wall of the elevator and leans her body down into her lap. She keeps one hand on the side of your face to keep you from hiding it away behind your palms. Wish we could stay like this forever. Just you and me. But we're unlucky, aren't we? The fact that she's singling like them out, her and this person, her sister, there's something, it seems that, there's a reason why they're unlucky. Because if it was anyone else, they might have not had the strength to get here, though. It's almost like, it seems like because they have this determination to get here, that's why they're unlucky. It's unlucky that they care so much, or they have so much willpower to get to this point, for whatever change they're trying to do. It feels like they're trying to do a change, and they're going on this whole fucking journey, that's fucking up their eyes. There's gonna be people they're gonna have to kill, With you by my side, I can do anything, and I will. Thinking. I have something for you. You look up, she opens her mouth and reaches deep inside. From within her throat, she pulls out a hauntingly beautiful red flower. Yeah, so she pulls a flower out of her mouth. Very iconically strange detail. I have no idea how this happens. And the flower is very striking. It's red folly-ish. She calls it red. It could have been like, maybe she doesn't know it's folly red or know what folly red is, or maybe it's not folly red, but it is red, which is an important color, and it's got these white little tendrils that remind me of the folly tendrils, but these are white, so it's very interesting. Something about its aura relaxes you. So yes, I have this theory thingy that the Manoria flowers have like an aura that can change how you feel. This one relaxes you. It's a folly one. Looking at it feels familiar and comfortable despite its form. So yeah, this flower is familiar for some reason. This is a very strange way of wording. This obviously means something that we don't know yet. The form, like, obviously it's a little scary. It was called hauntingly beautiful, so maybe this is saying like, oh, even though it's a little weird looking, it's still comfortable. Or maybe this flower is a form of something else. Like, you know, I mentioned it earlier, but the flower, our people theory, like, is this a person we knew turned into a flower, you know? I don't know. She gifts it to you, and you cage it gently between your two hands. And yeah, we're gentle with it, like it's someone important. And guess what? In our Mariquary, there is a flower that we treat like we put the Minoria in the Mariquary because that is like the person or a representation of a person. I'm not sure if that was exactly Sid's flower theory, or maybe it is, or maybe I'm adding on to it, but either way, that's an interesting way to look at it. That has some merit. This one isn't for strength like the others. So yeah, we've heard of, this one is for strength, right? So the Minorias, I think they have auras, one's for strength, one's for relaxing. This one's for love, that's why we feel comfortable and familiar, right? Those are feelings of love. Something to remember. It's something to remember. That's I don't remember that line. That's really interesting, coming from Serene, you know, with amnesia. And then the Minoria comes back later. It is remembered. It is kept on to. ... Winnerific, isn't it? Which, wonderful word. It means hauntingly beautiful. That was the context from earlier. It is. I think it's a very pretty flower. Just like the field of pink ones. So now, like, you know, up to here, we've heard of a field, right? At the start of the game. So, and if you play the game and you get the field quote, you're gonna think and connect this, right? So that seems like that's what the game wants you to do. And where was that field? It was in the sanctuary within the world, right? Where no sun shined. So the Minoria, if it is a Minoria, then those flowers were made with God's rays and God's tears, right? So maybe that's why they have these emotions connected to them, right? Maybe that was God creating emotions or something like that. You know, it's getting really into speculation here, but the field was pink. It was pink flowers. Only more passionate. Like, it hasn't given in and lost its color. Okay, so yeah, this flower isn't pink, it's more passionate, it's more red. This is like a direct, because I'm on color theory, okay? This is like saying that maybe red is passion, which that lines up with all the depictions of red we've seen in this game. And it makes sense, red being passion, so this one, which is a more red pink, is a more passionate pink, a more passionate flower, emotion. It's love. It hasn't lost its redness, hasn't lost its color, hasn't given in. You open your mouth to speak, but Serene hushes you, dismisses your thoughts with a gentle pat on the head. So Serene pats your head. She pats little sis's head, because Serene is the big sister, you know. I believe it was said outright in the photo. We'll have to check again, but, you know, that's just very sweet. She already knows how much it means to you. So the flower means a lot to us, which goes on with this, like, very important, you know, like, emotion and feeling that's been given to this flower. Like, it's almost like a keepsake of someone who's passed, or it is someone who's gone. They've turned into this flower. It's the last thing left of them, you know? Also, I need to cut in here to tell all the viewers that Liza May Throwpup the Wonderful is telling you all hi. He says hi. So make sure to say hi, Liza May, in the comments. She will come to your house and hit you with a body pillow. I made that part up. She didn't say that. I will come to your house. I will I will gut you like a fish if you don't say hi, Eliza May. Sorry. Anyway, yeah, she said hi because I told her I'm recording Adna and she wanted to say hi. Anyway. Not a single word needs to be spoken. You know, that's a good idea. Maybe I shouldn't be telling people I'm gonna gut them. Fish, like maybe something cuter than a fish, like a squirrel. Not a single word needs to be spoken. ... No, no. No word spoken here. Hands off. The elevator stops. The elevator comes to a stop. Now I can't pause here, so. You've arrived at the eyes of the world. Very interesting wording. This is where I get off. Now I don't want you to see what I'm about to do. Whatever it takes. She kisses you on the forehead and she stands up, lifting you with her into a carry. Sets you down on your feet gently, and then prepares to leave. There she goes, click click, opens the door, and she's gone. Close the doors and bear with it until it's over. Okay? So bear with it. She knows something bad is going to happen. So, and we know what happens next. Either Serene causes the badness, right? Like she goes and does something, or maybe Serene is the anchor that allows, you know, the elevator not to fucking break down and shit. I'm gonna put a save here. We're gonna put it... Oof, where do I put my save? Right here. We're gonna go for the normal ending first. Also, some of that stuff, I might come back and post, I might not, you'll know, but I might dissect some of that scene that went by fast and I couldn't pause it. But we're going to ... stare catatonically at... Oh wait, no, we're not. What am I doing? We're gonna close the doors. You nod your head and close the elevator door. Goodbye, Sue. Serene closes her eyes and smiles happily back at you. She closes her eyes. I wonder if that's an important detail, like she, like, doesn't want to see what's about to happen. Maybe it's connected to the are your eyes acting up. Do you feel alone? So now we have the narrator speaking. This seems like when that happens, it feels like it's representing like a mental thing, a disconnect, you know, a strain, a stress, a panic, or unreliableness. Do you feel alone? Well, yeah, I do. Leaning back against the elevator wall, you begin to chant in your head. Sound body, sound mind. And then we have this red-pink combo coming down from the ceiling. The elevator wall begins to creak. Fluids of many colors exude from the various holes and imperfections of the elevator. The sounds of squealing and bending remind you of someone in pain, as if the elevator itself is calling out for help. So yeah, it seems like Serene has done something to the world, or to this area, the elevator, the tower maybe, that is just causing it to be in pain. We know the tower, quote unquote, lives, but something like this is different. This is obviously making you think of blood, right? The thick liquids pool at your feet and soak into your socks. But it's called liquids. It's being tricky on us. It's not going to say blood or this or that. A dense slime that clings to you like desperate hands. I can like imagine that. It's pretty cool. Sound body, sound mind. The fluid fills the room. You struggle to keep the flower above the growing pool. So we're holding on to this flower like it's the last thing, you know, it's very important. You try to focus your thoughts, but all you can think about is her, Red Folly. Now, you know, I feel like if it was Serene, it would be purple, electric purple, right? Like, who is her? Is that the girl from before? Is that the flower right in front of us? Sorry, my voice. If you ever lose your way, right? I will find you. And then we're serene. So that's certainly an interesting. It's a dream that Serene has, right? Remembering something. She claims it's like someone else's dream from a different perspective, and yeah, it's really interesting to look at and dissect. They went somewhere together. Their eyes got fucked up. They were given a flower, a flower of love that calms you down. Serene left the elevator, presumably did something important at the eyes of the world. Maybe that's why the eyes of the world fucked up their eyes, right? Like, you get too close to Providence eyes, and your eyes get fucky. That's why she closed her eyes when she left, right? Because it was too much when you get close to the source, right? And she maybe stabbed out the eyes. She did something there. She had to fight people. She had to kill people. And the structure started squealing and bending like a person. That's basically the too long didn't read. Let's see what happens when we shatter the dream, because that's really not how it happened, did it? So, Serene leaves. She closes the door. She's sad. But us? No. We're gonna open it back up. We're breaking the events. And it's saying, no, you're not allowed to go out here. Oh, well, guess what? I'm going out. And then it cracks. And it turns more sea foam, more, of this green color. And we can break the dream. The static comes in. I might have to come in post because a lot of this goes by fast. And we've got this high-pitched, almost distorted, I assume, Serene's voice. And it's Red Folly completely now. That's not quite how it went, did it? As much as you wished you had gone, you didn't. So it's talking to us, the sister. Anyone who carries a key can expect to lose something. So it seems like these keys, I assume the key is what was inserted into the elevator and allowed us to move, right? Or maybe the elevator was moving, but it seems like the elevator let us stop or something. Or the key, but it seems like the key will gain us access to, this area, like the Eyes of Providence. But at the same time, it may be just because, since the key lets you go somewhere so dangerous and dramatic, that you'll always lose something, or maybe it is a quality of the key that if you have one, misfortune follows, right? Anyone who carries a key can expect to lose something. Especially those who go with them. So yeah, it's a dangerous thing. And now we have this voice that we never heard before in the game. What are you saying, Serene? You're losing your shit. Hang in there. So this is, the Red Folly has been identified as Serene. This blue text could be the sister, but instead I'm just going to call her Blue Girl. We don't know who this is, but the sister makes the most sense. And maybe what happened is Serene lost her sister afterwards. So this seems like it's happening after the fact, right? Like, that's not really how it happened. You wish you had gone. It seems like there's almost a perspective switch, right? We'll see. We'll see what happens before I go too far. Someone falls. Hold on to me. Don't fucking touch me. They took a lot more than a key from you, didn't they? I said, don't fucking touch me. Let me help you. I'm your friend. I know what you are. I know what you all are. Fucking cogs. You're no fucking friend of mine. You left me. Just take my hand. I'll take you home. So what? So you can tell me how sorry you are? I can't fucking stand to hear it again. We can get it back. Your head's all spun around. You sound delirious. Just let me help. And I promise I'll let you go when you're feeling better. You don't ever take me seriously. This place isn't safe for you. You don't know shit about what's safe for me. You took me. It was a mistake. You did this to me. You were dying, Sue. Is that key really more important than your life? You have no fucking idea. Okay. That's a lot. You know, so I don't think it's the sister, right? She said, I'm your friend. She would say, I'm your sister if it was a sister, right? It seems like what has happened is, sorry, I'm like, all these old memories and ideas and stuff are getting trudged back up. I feel like what is happening here is that whole elevator dream was almost like a fantasy that Serene had of how it should have gone, what should have happened, right? Her being the hero, her being the person who kills anyone, and this and that. But what actually happened is the key got taken away. I don't think she ever got to do the elevator. And something happened to the sister because of it. The misfortune of the key struck and the key itself was lost. It was worst case scenario. That's what it seems like. And she's losing her shit. And her friend here is trying to help her. Seems like the friend has caused problems in the past. Had made a mistake, brought Sue somewhere she shouldn't have been. But now Sue is also somewhere she shouldn't be. And yeah, it's just interesting. It's a lot of information. If I had to guess who the friend was, I was getting some vibes that it could have been Sue's mom. But when she said friend, I'm like, probably not. Unless that's something the mom says. What's a little odd. But I could see it if the mom's like a manipulative person, right? Being like, oh, I'm your friend, you know? Teza is like coming out at me because Teza, you know, there's the like Piamat dream that, in my opinion, to me feels like it's like there's the sprite that looks similar to Teza, and it's taking Serene somewhere, right? And it feels like Piamat is trying to stop Teza, and Teza's like manipulating Serene, and Serene is going along with it, right? She's given in to the manipulation. Not like give like it to me. It seems like Serene is complying. She knows because Piamat's like, oh, like come back, and Serene's like, who's that? I don't know, but it's like I think she does know who Piamat is. Anyway, that's why I think maybe it's Teza. Teza seems to be someone who brought Serene somewhere, right? And maybe led her somewhere where she shouldn't have gone because Piamat in that dream is saying, don't take her, you know, like, give me Sue back. It's not fair. It's disgusting. So it's like Piamat tried to save Serene from Teza, and if it's not Teza, then whoever it is. And here we go. This is the underkey. It looks like a spade. For all of our hopes and all of our dreams. Very impactful line. I give you the under key, and it's folly text. Now, so for all of our hopes and all of our dreams, I gave you the under key. That's also why I think there's, you know, Serene's doing something grand, right, in the elevator. Is for all of our hopes and all of our dreams is like, you know, like that's really intense. That's like all of us. You know, who is us? Like, I don't know, like society. Like, for all of our dreams, you need this underkey. Like, this underkey will allow you to make all our dreams come true and save all the problems, all our hopes, you know? So, that's what I think what was going on. And I feel like if the key was taken from us, and we have in D1, Sindine wants it, if we can get the key, maybe at the end of the game, we can have a rehash of the elevator. What should have happened? And we can write, you know, the mistake and actually get to the Azza world and save, you know, satisfy everyone's hopes and dreams. You know, that's what I can picture, you know? So, for as long as I can remember, the world has looked strange. We're playing as Serene now. The doctors say it's a rare condition called schizitism. Now, guess what? This color, I don't know what this color is. Is this mauve? It feels like mauve, which is interesting. There's so many red pinks. I kind of adore it, the specificness. I'm going to take a picture of this and share this in the Discord. For as long as I remember, that's not very long at all. And then the music And it's the most iconic fucking hype scene ever. Oh shit, I was wrong. hold on to that hype. Ready? Hold on. There you go. Boom. So Dis Zero waking up serene on the 6th of 10/22/68 in the Continual Ward. Woof, that was a mouthful. Anyway, that's him. Like I've said this before, but it saying serene implies that we might not play as serene, which is cool. So yeah, we're in CW. We got the date and everything. We know that stuff. And Piamat is here. Lovely, lovely Piamat. Best girl. Piamat, by the way. Just letting you all know that if you're a viewer of this channel, then you must agree that Piamat's the best girl. And if not, I will come to your house and I will gut you like a squirrel. Okay? Anyway. She's waking up. Hello, Piamat. We got Elena here. Lovely Elena. She's got... Her eyes are different colors. She's got arbors. That's cool. How's her vitals? So they're checking our vitals, you know, just to see if we're okay. ... stable. That's a little interesting that she says ... stable. Like, does Piamat see something that she doesn't want to share? I wouldn't be surprised. That might be fuel for something. Lena's like, good, good. Let's give her a minute. Minute passes. We're waking up. It's been long enough. Administering 20 cc's of Stericyline. Now, I don't know what Stericyline is. I don't even know what 20 cc's is. If someone knows if that's a real thing, or maybe that's an adna unit. But yeah, I have no idea what that is. Maybe someone, or I, can do some research and see if Stericyline is some kind of like... If that's close to a real life drug. But we're getting administered something. And it's, you know, waking us up, it seems. So we go boom, and then suddenly we're awake like that. So it seems to be some kind of wake up drug. Or it brought us back, it helped us feel better. It kind of flushed our system, I think. If we think about the combat system or the humor system, you can kind of flip your humors. Maybe this is like, oh, feeling super drowsy out of it, and then we get flipped over to boom, I'm awake. So awake that we puke. Whoa, hey, lay back down. Serene leaned back down onto her bed with a look of drowsy confusion. She couldn't recall ever sitting up in the first place. So yeah, this drug just shot us awoke. Chill, says Piamat. Lovely words from the lovely girl. I'm chill. ... Where am I? Laser tag. Oh, banger. We're in laser tag. It looks like it. Elena sighs. We're in the congenial ward. You just had abdominal surgery. Everything should come back to you soon enough. So we have abdominal surgery for the stuffing inside of us. We had issues, I think, with our throat. And our throat and stomach or something. Elena totes over a bucket, places it upon your lap. What's that for? Blah, 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 blah. Sorry, I didn't mean to click through that. But, yeah, we puked. Piamat's, like, staring at us, like, ... I'm headed home. Now, I'm of the theory that Piamat kind of knows us, right? From that dream. And just all her weirdo, like, mannerisms. So I wonder if this is her kind of, like, trying to get out of here as fast as possible, right? She seems to know something about us. I'm headed home. Got it from here, Elena? Uh-huh. Heidi, see ya. She probably doesn't sound that upbeat. Elena nodded Piamat goodbye as she dug through a nearby stack of papers. So Elena's checking out the papers and it's like, bye-bye. Well, now that you're up, I have some questions for you. Can I wait a little longer? I'm still drowsy. Serene, stop acting like this in front of your nurse, you goober. I'm afraid not. Do you recall signing purple text? Patient drug trial form before the surgery. Patient drug trial form. I think so. Something about a discount. Yeah, she signed a form to get a discount. Why does she need a discount when she's like fucking banger ass rich? I guess because she doesn't have all her money taken out. Or she just likes a discount. Yeah, your anesthesia for today will be free. We use a newly released public drug recipe called codeine. So let's try and like parse what this means. They're both purple text, right? So that public drug trial form might actually be more important than I first thought, because it's also purple, just like codeine. And now again, we hear public drug recipe. What the fuck does that mean? I haven't even sat there and questioned what that means. So it's a recipe too. So someone made a recipe for a drug, a public drug recipe called codeine, newly released. Okay, so that makes sense. So now we have the public drug trial form. That feels like it is a form for public drugs that gives you a trial of a new drug, kind of like a green light system. It's like, hey, I made this new recipe for drugs. We tested it a bit. It works. Now let's try to the next stage and test it on actual people, or use it on actual people and get some more, you know, information on it. And afterwards, I'll have to do a little, you know, mental check test, which Alina does here. Right, yes. It was extensively tested before market release, but we're still required to perform a small psych evaluation on patients for a few days. So this was just released to the public. She mumbled sleepily. We're making sure there's no lingering effects on patient mood or memory after surgery, so... Ugh. I'm sorry, it has to be done immediately after you wake up. Let's begin. Fine. Let's start with something simple. Can you tell me your name? Serene, like the word serene. I like that she says that. ... Why are you staring at me, Elena? But spelled different? Good. Is that what she was looking for? Now, I'd like you to answer a couple questions. On your plate is a marshmallow. Alright, and here, because I'm feeling a little bit out of breath, I'm gonna pause, end the episode here. We'll continue next time. And yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for everything. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.